Hello, what's your name?
My name is Xenia.
Nice to meet you, Xenia.
Nice to meet you.
Xenia, how do you spell your name?
It's Enia.
How old are you?
I'm 10 years.
10 years old. And what's your school name, Xenia?
I learn from primary school.
Which class are you in?
I'm class 4-6.
4C. How many students are in your class?
45.
45 students.
In my class.
Look, Xenia, look at the pictures. How were you yesterday?
I was happy.
How were you last night?
I was sad.
Sad. How were you yesterday morning?
We were excited.
That's right, we were excited. How was he yesterday?
He was hungry.
That's right. How was Andy last Sunday?
He was tired.
Tired, correct. How was she yesterday?
She was surprised.
Surprised. How were they last Sunday?
They were thirsty.
They were Thursday, that's right. How were you and your friend yesterday?
We were scared.
Correct. We were scared. How were you?
I was happy. I wasn't sad.
That's right. How was Lucy yesterday morning?
She was scared. She wasn't surprised.
That's right. How was your brother last weekend?
He was tired. He wasn't excited.
That's right. How were you yesterday, Xenia?
We were thirsty. We weren't hungry.
That's right. Good. We weren't hungry. How were they yesterday morning?
They were scared. They weren't excited.
That's right. Look at the pictures, Xenia. Were you at the zoo yesterday?
No, I wasn't.
Were you at the library last Sunday?
Yes, I was.
Good. Where were you yesterday, Xenia?
I was at the library.
Good. Where were you and your friend last Sunday?
We were at the museum.
Good. We were. Where was your brother last Sunday?
He was at the school.
That's right. Where was your sister last night?
She was at the swimming pool.
Good. Where were your uncles last Sunday?
They were at the market.
At the market. That's right. And where were you last Sunday?
I was at the stadium.
That's right. Where was your sister last night?
She was in the yard.
Good. Where was Tommy yesterday morning?
He was at the playground.
Good. He was at the playground. Where were they yesterday?
They were at the market.
They were at the supermarket. Where were your parents last night?
They were at the cinema.
Good. Where were you last Sunday?
I was at the amusement park.
That's right. I was at the amusement park. Where were you last Sunday?
I was at the mall.
At the mall, that's right. Where was your uncle last summer?
He was at the beach.
Yes, at the beach. How was your weekend?
It was fun.
Fun? It was fun. How was his weekend?
It was relaxing.
That's right. How was their weekend?
It was exciting.
Good, exciting. How was her weekend?
It was tiring.
Good, tiring. And how was his weekend?
It was boring.
Boring. How was their weekend?
It was interesting.
Interesting. Well done. Thank you, Sonia.